Have you ever felt that emptiness after helping someone? Like you gave away a part of yourself, and in return you received nothing, silence. Or maybe you know that chill of resentment when your kindness was taken for granted. You tried, sacrificed your time, your energy, and in return, not even a simple thank you, just warm words. Sound familiar? Then this article is for you. We often think that being kind means always saying yes, always being available, always putting others' needs before your own. We've been taught since childhood that selfishness is bad, and so we try. We melt like a candle to warm others, and then we look in amazement at the puddle of our burned out self, feeling only emptiness and a bitter aftertaste. That's the catch. Modern culture often romanticizes kindness as self-sacrifice, as complete self-denial. But the ancient Stoic philosophers, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, saw a grave danger in this. They would say we've got it all wrong. They taught that true kindness isn't weakness. It's not about being convenient. True, powerful kindness is an expression of inner strength. It's the conscious choice of a strong person, not the forced obligation of a weak one. If your kindness leads to burnout, resentment, and a feeling of being taken advantage of, it's not kindness. It's a mistake. A mistake that hurts you first and foremost. The Stoics were some of the most practical philosophers in history. They didn't build castles in the air. They gave concrete instructions on how to live well, with dignity, and, importantly, while preserving oneself. Their teachings have stood the test of centuries. Emperor Marcus Aurelius ruled the vast Roman Empire while constantly on military campaigns. His meditations are a personal journal where he reminded himself of virtue and fortitude. Seneca, tutor to the Emperor Nero, knew what it meant to be at the epicenter of power, intrigue, and betrayal. His letters are a guide to maintaining calm and wisdom in chaos. And Epictetus, a former slave, experienced real, unjust pain firsthand. And he proved that our inner state is not dependent on external circumstances. These people understood what it meant to be kind without losing oneself. They knew how to help without becoming hostage to others' exploitation, how to give without becoming exhausted, how to be good without being convenient. And today, their ideas are more relevant than ever. In a world where we are expected to be constantly available, where the boundaries between work and personal life are blurred, where the guilt for not doing enough for others has become chronic, their voices sound like a breath of fresh air. They suggest moving from kindness as a sacrifice to kindness as a force. From kindness that drains you to kindness that fills you and those around you. Let's explore together the 10 biggest mistakes kind people make. We won't just uncover these pitfalls. For each mistake, we'll find a Stoic solution. A concrete, practical principle that will transform your kindness from a source of suffering and resentment into a source of invulnerable peace and true influence. You'll learn why you shouldn't drink from an empty well, even if there are many thirsty ones around you. You'll understand how to help someone without depriving them of their own victory. Learn to distinguish kindness from convenience. This journey isn't about becoming harsher or more callous. It's about becoming wiser, stronger, more authentic, ready to transform your kindness into a superpower that won't destroy you. Then let's get started. Friends, please subscribe, like, and comment. This is very important to us. And we continue. Section 1. Mistaken our attitude toward yourself. Depletion of the source of strength. Have you ever noticed that after helping others, you feel like a squeezed lemon? Not a surge of joy, but only fatigue and irritation. This is a sure sign that you're making one of the fundamental mistakes. Kindness doesn't begin with others. It begins with you. If your inner source of strength is depleted, there's simply nothing left to give. The Stoics taught, first, put your own house in order, and only then open the door to guests. Mistake 1. Confusing kindness with self-denial. Remember once and for all, you can't water others from an empty well. By sacrificing yourself for others, you ultimately sacrifice them too. Because a powerless, exhausted person cannot be truly kind. They can only mechanically give away their last, accumulating resentment and emptiness in their soul. The Stoic solution, the dichotomy of control. Your well-being isn't selfishness. It's your direct responsibility, your greatest virtue. Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who ruled a vast empire, reminded himself every morning, don't live as if you have 10,000 years left. Your happiness depends on the quality of your thoughts. What does this mean in practice? First, put on an oxygen mask. Ask yourself today, what energizes me? What maintains my peace of mind? Perhaps it's 20 minutes of silence in the morning with a cup of coffee, or a solitary walk, or going to bed on time. Make these things sacrosanct, not just when you have time, but always. This is a foundation. Without it, any kindness you show will be a shaky house of cards. Mistake 2. Seeking external validation of your worth through help. If your kindness is a cry for recognition, then silence in response will be torture. You helped a colleague, and they didn't say thank you. You supported a friend, and they didn't even notice. And inside, a bitter feeling grips you. My sacrifice wasn't appreciated. It's a trap. You make your state of mind dependent on the reactions of others, and they are beyond your control. The Stoic solution: do the right thing for its own sake. The philosopher Seneca said it simply and brilliantly. The reward for a good deed is in its very accomplishment. Do something because it's right, according to your inner principles, and not because you expect applause, gratitude, or a favor in return. Imagine you planted a tree. You do it because you believe a tree is good. It provides shade, purifies the air, and pleases the eye. You tend to it because it's right. But whether someone passes by and says, "What a beautiful tree," is no longer your concern. Your task is to plant and tend. This attitude makes you truly free. Your value ceases to depend on the words and looks of others. Mistake 3. Equating being good with being convenient. Do you constantly find it difficult to say no? Are you afraid to refuse for fear of appearing mean, causing problems, or ruining relationships? Then remember, a convenient person is not a kind person. They are a tool in the hands of others. They take advantage of you not because you are good, but because it is convenient. And this convenience slowly but surely eats away at you from the inside. The Stoic solution: the courage to say no. Former slave and later philosopher Epictetus taught, the most important task in life is to distinguish between what is within my control and what is not. Your time, your energy, your peace of mind, all are within your control. But others' requests, demands, and desires are not always within your control. Refusing is not an act of anger. It is an act of kindness to yourself and respect for others. You communicate the honest limits of your capabilities to others. When you say no to a request that drains you, you say yes to yourself. You can serve your resources for the things and people who truly matter. This is courage, and the Stoics considered it one of the cardinal virtues. The conclusion of the first section is simple but fundamental. Before you give, make sure you have something to give. Your inner world is your foundation. Without it, all your attempts to make the world a better place are doomed to failure. You are not a rescuer of the drowning. You are the captain of your own ship. First, make sure your ship is afloat, and only then pick up others. Section 2, Mistaken Action. Ineffective kindness. So, you've learned to conserve your inner source of strength. Great, but that's only half the battle. Now let's look at how exactly you help. Because you can have the best intentions, but your actions harm both yourself and the person you're helping. Kindness must be intelligent. Otherwise, it's just vanity. Mistake 4, reactive, not proactive. Is your kindness constantly running around answering other people's calls? Do you feel like you spend all day solving other people's problems? Congratulations, you're living like a firefighter. You're being rushed around to hot spots you didn't choose. Kindness by the residual principle isn't kindness. It's vanity. You hand out small coins to everyone, and by the end of the day, you have nothing left in your pocket, neither for yourself nor for the truly important things. The Stoic solution: conscious intention. Don't wait for the world to bring you its problems. Create kindness yourself. By your own plan. Emperor Marcus Aurelius asked himself every morning, what useful thing will I do today? Not, what will I respond to others' requests, but what will I do? Proactive action, not reaction. What does this mean for you? For example, you decide, Today, I will consciously set aside an hour to call an old friend and support them. Or, instead of rushing between 10 minor requests, I will focus on one truly important help. You take the helm. You determine where to direct your energy. This kindness is far more beneficial and doesn't leave you feeling empty. Mistake 5. Solving others' problems for them. Are you familiar with that urge? To rush in and do everything for someone else? To arrange their life the way it should be? Stop. Because by depriving someone of their struggle, you deprive them of their victory. You're digging a hole of helplessness with your own hands. You're sending them a hidden message. I don't believe you can handle this on your own. Such help humiliates and weakens. The Stoic solution: help is fertilizer, not replanting. Imagine you're a gardener. You can't pull a plant by the top to make it grow faster, but you can fertilize the soil, water it, and provide light. Your role isn't to carry someone up the mountain on your back. You show them the path. Give them water for the journey. Or simply be there, encouraging them as they climb. This shows respect for their intelligence and abilities. Ask yourself, what does this person really need? A solution to their problem or the strength to overcome it? Sometimes the greatest kindness isn't doing it for them, but simply being there and believing them more than they believe in themselves. Mistake 6. Blurring your boundaries in an effort to help. I can't refuse, he's so sick. Sound familiar? And you allow into your life, your space, your time what you find unpleasant, difficult, or simply unnecessary. Without boundaries, your kindness turns into a swamp, viscous, boggy, in which both you and those trying to help you drown. You dissolve in the problems of others, losing yourself. The Stoic solution: the discipline of agreement. Epictetus said, "It's not the things themselves that upset us, but our opinions about them." The key is your inner agreement. Don't internally agree to anything that hurts, exploits, or causes bitter resentment. Your boundaries aren't high walls topped with barbed wire. They are clear rules for entering your inner city. Rules you establish for your own safety. This means allowing yourself to not respond to a message outside of work hours. Ending a conversation that's turning manipulative. Clearly say, "I'll help you with A, but I can't with B." By defending your boundaries, you don't become mean. You become honest. And honesty is also a form of kindness, especially towards yourself. The bottom line of this section: your actions should be conscious, not reactive. Help in a way that strengthens others, not makes them dependent. And always remember the banks within which the river of your kindness flows. Without them, it will spill over into a useless swamp. Section 3. Mistakes in our treatment of others. Distorted expectations. You've strengthened your inner world. You've learned to act consciously. But there's another abyss into which even the most steadfast, kind-hearted people fall. This is the abyss of expectations. We unconsciously expect others to play by our rules, that they'll thank us, appreciate us, and be fair. And when this doesn't happen, our world collapses. Let's explore why our expectations are the main enemy of calm kindness. Mistake 7. Expecting justice and gratitude. I've done so much for him. The Stoics would consider this sentence poison, because expecting justice is a premeditated resentment. You invest, but in your head you're already holding the check. Now he'll owe me, and when the debt isn't repaid, you feel cheated. But who cheated you? You. The Stoic solution: accepting human nature. People act based on their own ideas of what is good. Often they're mistaken. They may be blind, preoccupied with their own problems, or simply view the world differently. Marcus Aurelius left us with clear instructions. When you encounter ingratitude, don't be surprised. Consider that the giver should remember it all his life, and the recipient should immediately forget it. What does this change? Everything. You stop lending. You do a good deed and let it go, like a leaf drifting adrift. You've made your choice to be virtuous. The other person's reaction is their choice, their responsibility. Your task is to plant a tree. Whether it grows is no longer in your control. Mistake 8. Accepting the poison of someone else's injustice. You've been treated unfairly. You've been used, deceived, and undervalued. Your first reaction is anger, a desire for revenge, thoughts about what a scoundrel that person is. And so you've been carrying this poison within you for a week, a month, a year. Congratulations! You've donned the offender's poison armor. Your kindness was your shield, and now you're poisoning yourself. The Stoic solution: don't judge, but understand. The Stoics didn't call for being a wimp. They called for justice without anger. Anger is a short-term madness. It interferes with clear thinking. Instead of asking, what terrible person he is, ask yourself, why did he do that? Perhaps he was scared, delusional, acting out of trauma. This is an excuse for a bad act. It's your defense. You acknowledge the fact. You were treated badly, but you refuse to fan the flames of hatred within yourself. You can defend yourself, establish distance, end the relationship, but do so with a cool head, not a seething heart. This way, you'll preserve your nerves and your dignity. Mistake 9, taking blame for other people's emotions. You said no. You set a boundary. You spoke your truth. And in response, tears, resentment, anger. And now you feel guilty. Maybe I was too harsh? I should have kept quiet. Stop. You are not responsible for how another adult chooses to react to your honest words or actions. The Stoic solution: a clear distinction between mine and them. Let's return to Epictetus. Your actions and intentions are yours. It's your territory. You can control what you say and how you act. Other people's emotions and reactions are theirs. It's their territory. You can't control whether someone will cry or get angry. Your job is to be virtuous, to speak the truth respectfully, to refuse politely, not to ensure everyone's happiness and approval. If someone chooses to be offended by your reasonable boundaries, that's their choice. Their emotion. His job is with her, not yours. By stopping taking on someone else's emotional labor, you'll free up a tremendous amount of energy. The bottom line of this section: stop expecting others to give you what they can't or won't give you. Your peace of mind shouldn't depend on their gratitude, fairness, or approval. Let go of the ropes that hold you tethered, and you'll feel yourself becoming truly free. Free to be kind without suffering. Section 4, Quintessence. The most important mistake. We've covered 9 mistakes. 9 ways kindness can turn into a weapon against us. But there's one, the most important. It's the root of all the others. It determines whether your kindness will be a source of strength or an eternal source of suffering. This is a mistake of perception. It's a mistake of how you view the world. Mistake 10. Seeing the world as a threat, not a field for practicing virtue. The world doesn't become better or worse. It becomes what you see it as. If you view it as a battlefield full of enemies and injustice, you'll live in a besieged fortress. Every ingratitude will be proof that all people are bastards. Every request for help will be an attempt to break down your gates. In such a reality, kindness is merely a weakness for which you will inevitably be punished. But what if you see the world differently? What if you see it not as a threat, but as a gigantic, complex, sometimes harsh, but invaluable gem? A gem for training your character. Then everything changes. The Stoic solution: amor fati, loving your destiny. This doesn't mean passively accepting everything. It means accepting everything that happens as material to work with. Every situation is an opportunity to demonstrate one of the 4 cardinal virtues of the Stoics. Wisdom. A neighbor's ingratitude is no reason to resent it. It's a training exercise in your ability to distinguish between what is within your control and what is not. A training exercise in letting go of expectations. Courage. A boss's injustice is not a catastrophe. It's a chance to show courage. Defend your boundaries. Express your position. Or wisely retreat, preserving your dignity. Justice. A colleague's mean act is not a reason for revenge. It's a test of your ability to be fair. Respond not to evil with evil, but to meanness with integrity. Moderation. A friend persistent request isn't a trap. It's an opportunity to exercise moderation. Weigh your strengths, your capabilities, and help only as much as is reasonable, without go to extremes. A wonderful person doesn't curse the storm. They learn to adjust their sails. They use its winds to sail forward. Your life, with all its injustices, ungratefulness, and difficulties, is your one and only testing ground. The very one given to you to hone your skills as a human being. Every encounter with the world's imperfections isn't a failure of the system. It is the system. It's a game, and you are not a pawn in it, but a player. Your task is not to rewrite the rules, but to masterfully play by them, using every situation to strengthen your spirit. When you embrace this mindset, the very ground for resentment and burnout disappears. You simply don't have time to be offended. You're too busy. You are engaged in important work, forging your character in the forge of daily events. And in this process, even the bitterest food of experience is transformed into fuel for your growth. The bottom line of this entire journey: the world is a mirror. It returns to you what you bring into it. If you bring into it kindness born of strength, wisdom, and courage, you receive strength in return, even in the most difficult circumstances. Your kindness ceases to be a reaction to the world. It becomes your response to it. Active, strong, conscious, one that cannot be exhausted, because its source lies in your invulnerable inner choice. Conclusion: from kindness as a sacrifice to kindness as a strength, we've come a long way. From recognizing that habitual kindness brings pain to understanding how to make it a source of strength. Let's put it all together. True kindness, stoically speaking, is not a sweet syrup. It is a steel core, flexible but unbending. It requires the courage to set boundaries. It requires the wisdom to help correctly, not conveniently. It requires fairness, first and foremost, to oneself. Recall all 10 mistakes. You no longer confuse kindness with self-denial. You stop seeking validation of your worth in the eyes of others. You distinguish between being good and being convenient. You act proactively, not simply reacting to others' requests. You help like a gardener, not like a porter. You defend your boundaries with the discipline of a soldier. You've let go of expectations of gratitude and fairness. You've stopped drinking the poison of others' injustice. You're no longer guilty for others' emotions. And finally, you see the world not as a threat, but as a field for practicing virtue. This is a formula for kindness that doesn't destroy. Kindness that can never be exhausted, because its source lies not in external approval, but in your inner choice, in your character. Now a final image. Imagine yourself in a turbulent river. Before, you were a straw. You were tossed back and forth. Every oncoming current, a request, a problem, a demand, mercilessly carried you away. You were a toy of the current, and now you are a rock, not a rough block, but polished by time and awareness. The waters still rage around you. The waves crash against you, but they cannot move you. You remain unshakable, calm, and it is precisely because of this stability that you can be relied upon. Truly, reliably. This is the paradox of Stoic kindness. By becoming stronger and more resilient for yourself, you become more reliable for others. Where to start? Starting tomorrow morning, before the world unleashes its demands on you, ask yourself one single question. Just one. Which of these principles can I apply today to make my kindness stronger? Don't try to fix everything at once. That's a surefire way to burnout. Choose one mistake. Just one. For example, today you practice not expecting gratitude, or you learn to say no to one small request that drains you, or simply go to bed on time, showing kindness to yourself. One principle, one day, one victory. Turn this practice into a habit. With each passing day, your kindness will become more conscious, more powerful, more resilient. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are the architect of your character. And that's where true, lasting kindness begins. The one that changes the world, starting with you